Hey, I'm Kev, welcome back to MotoGP 18, where McDonald, he got back on the podium last time out, but he keeps losing points to Dovizioso in the championship. Can he finally claw some back around the fast Silverstone circuit in Great Britain? So here goes Mayo then for the first of two possible qualifying efforts. As you can see, he's gone out very early in the session. That's a bit of a cheeky line through Woodcote. And now towards Cops, get it down to second to use that engine braking. You get hard on the power on the exit as he's still got riders coming out at the pits right at the beginning of the session. Then into Maggots and Beckett's. Very fearsome on the motorbike because you actually have to. You don't have downforce to help you. As you accelerate through Chapel and then down the famous hanger straight towards Stowe. Expect to see some overtaking moves here. Gone slightly wide, get on the power. Then head towards the Silverstone ring and go past it through Club and Veld. It's all almost losing it on the brakes. So easy to do that and run wide and compromise yourself. So the go gets nice and smooth on the power, 59.6. I'm not sure how good these splits are. So now we go through Abbey. Right, barely clinging on then through Farm. And now into the slow section, Village. And the loop. And then accelerate through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. It's 25.8 for that split. And then again, maybe some overtaking moves here into Brooklands. With a late apex corner though. And in Luffield, the long and winding right-hander. But again, just a slight lift through Woodcote. And hard on the power towards the line. 56 for that. I reckon it might be in 55s though. Here's our second, that was to get Master Mark VDS bike. So Mayo got to improve quite a lot. Qualifying's not been his strong suit recently. Then he needs to have lots of improvement in this area, as he's almost half a second up though with the first sector. As they accelerate towards Stowe. Got to use all that engine braking to go wide. Of course. So you had to get it all the way down to first there. We're going nice and smooth on the accelerator. Still half a second up. Get it all the way down to second for Abbey. Seems like second's a magic gear. Got over that curve on the inside of the Village. You don't want to be running the curves around there, they are dangerous. It's out the loop for Aintree. Still half a second up. Dispatching himself. So you can finally make some time up in the final section as they go late apex. You think you're going wide, but you can clip that apex late in Brooklands. Same for Luffield. Slightly lift through Woodcote. As it accelerates towards line 55-1, that's more like it. As he beats Pedrosa to the top and Luti just missing out. Good job from the Mark VDS man ahead of Petrucci and Rabat. Then we've got Spargo, Baptista, Alicia Spargo, Serene, Redding and Smith at their home races. Redding and Smith, and Morbidelli, Xavier Simon and Nakagami K-Abram at the back. As it worked so well in the first session, Mario's doing it again, coming out early. In qualifying 2 for 1 lap. For 2 laps of glory has going to use this to just get used to this circuit again. Find the limits. As he's behind his teammate, is that Miller or Petrucci? Seems like Premax strategy is actually to send all their riders out early then. Let's go down the hangar straight, and the relationship with his teammates for Mayo very strained at the moment. Definitely going to do him no favours in the title battle. So our rumours floating about that he could go to another team very shortly, even for the end of the season. Because no doubt it's a fast rider, but the arch into MotoGP has ruffled some feathers like the late Marco Simoncelli. And when Marc Marquez came around, just immediately he started winning. Not just races, but the titles. So let's see what happens with Mario then. It's been an incredible rookie season. He's been challenging for the title is some achievement. Especially on a satellite bike as well. Don't often say that in the last 2 decades. Or ever. So here you go then. This is his qualifying lap. As he sets a 56.8, that's nowhere near fast enough. There's more riders come out the pit lane, a big crash in front as well. Is that Lorenzo? What was Lorenzo doing? There's Mario almost 4 tenths up. There's Pedrosa down. Oh, was it little Danny you got hit? As once again, Mario so wide into Stowe. You don't get the engine braking right, you can see it's going to cost you some time. I can't get the bike stopped either there. Having a horrible experience here in qualifying 2 yet again. He's still 7 tenths up on his previous lap though. He generally seems to be better in the second half of the lap as well. He gets it all the way down to first this time. And accelerates through Aintree. It's over a second faster than his previous lap. This could still be a low 55 in the cards. Very different way of doing it though. As we go into the final section, we know his teammates' time in front. As he only sets a 55.3 on his Suzuki. No, it sets right towards the line, sets a 55.3 as well. As Marcus grabs pole ahead of Dovi and Jack Miller on his Premac on the front row, ahead of Iannone, McDonald in the top 5 again in qualifying, and Vinales on the second row, and Rossi, Rins and Zarco with Crutcho, Lorenzo and Pedrosa. Hopefully he can race with the crashing in qualifying 2. So for Mario then, he's got a great position to start from. Can he actually finish on the podium places? So here's Mario revving up at the start then. From the second row, you actually can see the lights when they go out. The 6 laps of fun here has he's got an abysmal side. Might be dropped by the Yamahas and Lorenzo. As they all just about survived the first corner. Oh, Mario really launching into Maggots and Beckett's. Might get Iannone here. He does. Down the inside of Miller as well, and Marquez maybe. No, he's up into third though, ahead of his teammate. As Marquez working on Dovi for the lead. And he does it. Great move by Marquez. May hope for the rest of the field as well. Here goes Mario through Club and Vale. Looks like Dovi's dropped back majorly. As we go into the second half of the lap, Marcus leads, Dovi second, Mario third, the top three in the championship. All together. Oh, look at Mario all over Dovi. Does he sneak down the inside into Village? He does. Dovi gets him back on the exit though. Then through the loop. Gone the power hard. For Aintree. And onto the Wellington straight. And look at this run for Mario on his title rival. Down the inside into Brooklands. Dovi holds it. About down the inside into Luffield. Oh, Dovi with the aggressive defence. Let's Rabat on the move behind. Not to 13th head of Petrucci as he go on to the second lap. Marcus leads. It's all about this battle for second at the moment. As we've got Miller and Vinales rounds out the top five. As Mario next to the outside, can't make the move. Switches back everywhere. He died down the inside. As through Chapel, he's got the place. It was scruffy, but he's made it past. As down Miller trying to hold off the other Yamaha of Rossi, 4th. As into Stowe, Dovi trying to make his way by. You know, there's no real room there. He's almost on the grass. So Mario got having to get it down to first just to make it into the corner. And this is all allowing Marcus to just run away slightly. There's now Miller behind Ian only for 6th. To go into Abbey and Farm. This is normally Mario's strong suit, these fast corners. Still gaining on Marcus as well in this sector. He's got half a second gap behind to Dovi. 6/10 behind Marcus. Battling hard as he's gone wide in Brooklands though. So easy to do that. It's Miller and Ian battling hard over 6th. As we go to the end of the second lap. And it's contenders battling for the win here. Dovi down in 3rd as Mario sets the fast at 54.8. It's Vinales, Rossi, Iannoni and Meadow is down to 7th. Let's look at Mario all over the back of Marcus. As he's right in the toes, they've got a second gap behind to Dovi. He doesn't need to make his move so soon, or does he? As he takes over the lead from the Honda. Holds the tight inside line. Marcus trying to go around the outside. Mario says no. This is my win. Oh, as Marcus gets into the back of Mario. What is Marcus doing? He's wiped himself out. As Mario's Jow got the Vizioso right in his tail. As we go into Abbey. Through Farm. Needs to increase the gap. Gets on the power early. Out of Village. Through the loop. Got on the power hard. Still be 3/10 behind. As Mark Marcus takes himself out with the British Grand Prix. Unbelievable from the Honda rider. Don't know what he's trying to do there. He just ran into the back of Mario. As we go into the second half of the race. Battle for second in the championship has changed. So it sets a 55 for that. He's got Dovi, Vinales, Rossi, Zarco behind. Yamaha's doing well. Miller up to 6th ahead of Inoni again. And Crutcher in 8th on home turf. Yamaha just tries to nail this fast sector. This is where he's strong. And you see he's got a second gap behind. He is loving race day once again. And what a much needed win this would be. We go through Stowe, that's nicely done. Seems to have to get it all the way down to first though for Veldon Club. And quickly up to second. Before he accelerates. As Dovi now just 4 tenths behind. Really does lose in that section, does Mario. Doesn't like the slow stuff, does he? It's all about the fast stuff on this Pramac. You can probably hear the engine just whining all the time as he tries to do the engine braking. Tries to keep it in the low gears as well for acceleration as he's 6 tenths ahead of Dovi. Just 2 and a bit laps to go. What a result this would be. Dovi still has a comfortable championship lead, but the battle for second in the championship, some of the other places as well, could be changed quite a lot by this race. It's all Luti after that fantastic qualify, now down to 22nd in the race. Back with Nakagami. And his teammate Morbidelli right behind him as well. As Lorenzo, Crutcho and Petrucci round out the top 10 behind Miller and Co. Let's go through Maggots and Beckett's hard on the power. Maggot 8 tenths in front. It's comfortable enough is the lead. Nakagami and Luti really battling over 21st. It's all May over the curve. Don't want to be doing that. Curves around here are vicious. Absolutely terrifying. As Joe's battling with his teammate Marquez. Just for 12th though for the Honda pairing. What an off race for them. It's a strong race for Yamaha. Got to think of that in the constructor standings. Of course, very strong for Ducati at the moment. 1-2. Through Aintree onto the Wellington straight. Mo's extending the lead, 1.1 seconds ahead of Dovi. Through Brooklands nicely. Look at this flow that Mario's in. I haven't seen this in a race for quite a while, since Saxon Ring. Say quite a while, it's just a couple of races, isn't it? But feels like quite a while. As he gone to the final lap. With Dovi, Vinales, Rossi and Sarko still behind. Number 5 stood in 5th. Just one more lap to go. And that's sweet victory champagne for just the 3rd time this season for Mario McDonald. As he's 1.4 ahead of Dovi. He's just gotten stronger as this race has gone on. Boy, he's strong early on, making all those passes. Now he's strong right at the end of this race. Go through Veldon Club, such a tricky sector. And hard on the power past the Silverstone ring. He's got a second gap to Dovi behind. Through Abbey, then Farm. Fast and flowing. And into the slow stop village. The loop. Then accelerate through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. The gap is still a second. That's 1 sector to go. Just through Brooklands and Luffield, the major final corner. As he's gone very wide there. Just waving to the fans, of course. As then through Woodcote is going to be another victory for Pramac, another victory for McDonald. And a very important one as well. His first and the second half of the season. Could it also save his job, maybe, with the team? As Mario 8/10 ahead of Dovizioso with Vinales 1.4 seconds back, just over his teammate Rossi. Then Zarco in 5th. Superb job from Jack Miller, hold on to sip ahead of Iannone, Lorenzo, Crutchlow, Petrucci, Marquez wins. Pedrosa in 13th ahead of Paul Esposito's fellow Spaniard, and Tito Rack grabbing the final point ahead of Albert Batista. And you've got Sorin, Smith on home turf, and Redding not getting points. And then Alicia Spargo down in 20th behind Redding once again. Dreadful going for the Aprilias, with Caravan in last. So in the Riders' Championship, Dovizioso's lead is cut to 34 points. It's still pretty comfortable though, with Marquez down to 4th now with 11 points, or 10 points should I say, behind Vinales. Rossi rounds out the top 5. Further back you got Lorenzo ahead of Rins for 8th. Miller up to 12th ahead of Danny Pedrosa. And then in the constructors' standing, 63-point lead for Ducati ahead of Yamaha, 29 points ahead of Honda in Suzuki, KTM and Aprilia. Then in the team's championship, Pramac 39 points ahead of Ducati, 11 now ahead of Yamaha. And then no other movers or shakers. As he's earned quite a lot. He's at max level for almost every single man now, apart from riding position has, oh boy, there will be developments for Mazzano, you can count on that. As in Moto 2, it's Alex Marquez ahead of Olivier and Bagnaia. Then Jorge Martin ahead of Bezzecchi and Bassini. So by development, I think we developed the engine, didn't we? It might have to be the brakes. It was very bumpy, that Silverstone circuit. May really struggle to get on power. And also be going through the corners as well, especially in Vale and Cobb, where it's very bumpy and slow. You definitely have that Mazzano in that first sector as well. So we might be looking at suspension to improve, aerodynamics, or the frame. Should we say the suspension? Improve the abilities or the shocks of surface roughness. There you go. No, we're kind of evening out the development. As next time, Mario's reached the summit again in a race for the 3rd time this season. Can he repeat it in his home race round the Misano World Circuit? Marco Simoncelli. So watching and find out next time.